Wow, I was absolutely amazed at this building. Down in Cornwall, there's the Eden Project. But this was the same thing in 1883. The reason that it's not there now, or didn't last, is that they made the plan for it, and then the person who wanted it decided, well, let's just say the architects were arguing, and there should have been a column that went up the middle to support the whole frame. And they decided late on in it to take it out. It caused people to resign, and then basically the moment the scaffolding comes down, and it was a couple of days from showing it to the people, the frame cracked, and then eventually within a few hours or days the whole thing had collapsed. Some people say it didn't have glass, some people said it did. There was acres and acres of glass that came off this thing. This thing was huge. You would have been able to see 800 people in it. It would have had animals, fish, trees. It would have had everything in it. This thing was big, you know, good few acres big. This thing was. I think I might have a bit more information in the video about it, but what it was is it collapsed, and then it didn't get rebuilt. It got left there as until the 1850s, when people took the rest of it away. So it's a bit sad really, but in the 1830s they're thinking of the Eden Project. What has happened to us that if we were doing most of the things, the oldest aquarium, etc., electric trains in the sea, what the hell happened to us from then to now? Because in a sense we haven't moved along. Maybe these people didn't have telephones, but how do we know? A lot of the pictures are superimposed and we can't trust the history. It's all incredible. That's what I say. And this, again, was very close to Brighton. As I said, I grew up there and everything. It has a palace that looks like that, which looks Tartarian. It has a dome that is a theatre, which looks like that, all built. Look, I've got the ages there. This house isn't to do... This is round Brighton. It was built in 1722. But look at it. Then they were able to draw pictures like this, almost with an aerial view looking at it. I mean, it looks like a kingdom, except it doesn't have any castle walls. But it still looks like the same thing. Look, they're giving pictures. Anyway, so we've got that Eden Project. With a bit of information there if you want to read it. And that was in Hove. We've got the Georgian houses with one of those there. Look, another dome, which I've drawn. There's the palace. So the piers, the palace, a bit of idea. That's more a satellite view of it. I was wondering whether I'd find a pattern, but I didn't really. Then that's where the electric railway ran along, and that's the other pier there in the water with the stump. And then there was a pier here, maybe there. And then you've got landmarks, which I'm just pointing out. You can slow any of this down and look at it. Just slow it down. Blow it up. There's the dome, palace, the electric, the train. There's the train station there. And although it said all those windmills were there, when I actually put windmills in on this map here, it only brought up one. But there are loads of windmills around Brighton. Remember the windmills. No matter which way I look at it, I'm just downfunded. It's not that I didn't know some of this information. It's not like some of it I didn't see, I didn't go to. But now, with this new set of eyes at looking at this past, I just cannot believe what we didn't see. There was loads of windmills all around Brighton. We're just picking that area. But look at the list of windmills. Now, so you can see that, look, there's probably more. There's probably some already gone that aren't listed. But I mean, we're not talking of one or two windmills here in the UK. And I mean, we all know now, I mean, I actually just thought windmills take water out of the ground. So in the 1800s, they already know that windmills propagate the land, can take water out. System you think technology is today. But I mean, these things were amazing. I mean, these things were amazing. So, rags, carts, horse, pop guns. Look how they're built. Look at them. Look what they were doing. Amazing. People living. Look how many Brighton has. Why? So that's just something else. Move them. Yeah, it's easy to move a windmill. I see so many windmills for Brighton. All around Brighton. It's really strange, isn't it, that, you know, I'm looking up stuff and there's windmills. Please write in anybody who's had this. We've got electric train in the sea. We're building palaces like this. I mean, look at it. Then we've got the oldest sea life aquarium in the world. We've had 3 piers. One was this one here, which was half a suspension bridge, which they burrowed 50 foot into the hill. Tons of marble to walk on, and poles and iron things. Tons and tons it weighed, but we actually had problems taking the coal from the boats up to the beach, but we can do all that. The promenade, which is, I said, nearly a mile long. There it is, see? Going on and on and on. You know, they're all attached to each other. They're still houses. Look at them. And there's a diagram there. In fact, it's 4 floors. And then, you know, looking up the fact that around Brighton, it was more New Haven, but they called it the quickest route to Dieppe. In the 1800s, there was boats going. There was ferry services. And of course, when they came to Brighton, I told you, they landed on that 12 inches of marble. Tons and tons of marble on a suspended pier bridge in the 1820s. But we've got no roads. We've got no roads and we've got no trains. That's what they're telling us. But we can make all those, I mean, they had to have roads because they built houses on them. So how are they making it? How to transport it? There's something so our history. So wrong. So wrong. So the quickest route to Paris. These beautiful windmills, which are technology, which they said we didn't have. I mean, look at these buildings. How did these people get those buildings when basically all on foot? There's no road. It's just a few miles of train, but even that is amazing in itself. Look at that. I just don't know if any of these pictures are real. I don't know if I can see that they're real and haven't superimposed all the people on, because it's making it look like there's hundreds of people there. But I mean, Brighton, according to what you can see, was a very, very wealthy place. I mean, look at the bandstand. Everything was beautiful. I mean, look at that. That's the museum, that was or is the History Museum. Look at the building. It's the same as the palace. Does that look English? Yeah, of course. Why? Because they've got to hide some of the history so that we don't clock on that this cannot match up. I mean, look at the houses they were building. No roads, no trains, no roads, no trains. But we can build amazing churches like that, and inside it looks like that. There's something very, very wrong with our history. Look at what they're showing us. So the people are on horses, carts, walking. There's no way. These people moved into what was there. And if there's no roads, then something must have happened then. And they're just not telling us the truth. Was it wars? Was it something else? I mean, look, Brighton had trams. This place was, in its time, even if they're telling the truth about the time with it being Victorian, was high-tech place. You know, you're looking at a lot of the pictures in black and white. Anyway, this is Hove, but it's still got the big houses in it with bandstands like that. Hove adjoins Brighton. I suppose if you want, you look at that. Just look at that. Look what they've built. Look at it. Yet the people are poor and desolate. You know, they're trying to keep warm on a little bag of coal, which is really, really hard to get from the port to get off the ships. And yet we've got houses, rows and rows of them, looking like that. Look at it. It goes on and on and on. So what they're trying to do is there is no infrastructure, but you're looking at infrastructure. You're looking at masses of infrastructure. You know, hundreds of years old now and built wonderfully, except the only reason some of it won't be there, I think that's the police station. Oh, look, they had to burn it. They have to burn these buildings because, I mean, look at it. It's magnificent. Yeah, and then they'd have to have knocked it down and goes all the way across. Even if you think, yeah, they look poor, there's still loads of houses. Loads of infrastructure. Look at the roads though. I mean, look at it. There's no way these people built this stuff. If they built that stuff, they would be in different transport, different everything. I mean, even that promenade, I don't know if that tower is there. Look at that. It's beautiful. Even that is beautiful. Madeira, yeah. Madeira Parade. I mean, look at that. Does that look English either? Does it? Really? Anyway, there's all these underground tunnels as well. You can go trips down there. Pictures, even though the people are poor and whatever, look at the pictures depicting. Look, see. I'm sorry, none of it adds up. I read it to you yesterday. They said we had no roads, no trains, but they're able to produce all that. In fact, they got more done in those days than we get done today. It only took a year or two to build half of Buckingham Palace or the pier. We can't get all these things done today. We've got problems. They just seem to be destroying all our history. I'm going to find out. There's got to be more about Brighton and Hove. Because look at the buildings. There's got to be other reasons. Or what were we? I'm going to find mud flood evidence. I'm not saying there isn't some mud flood evidence in Brighton, but they don't show it at all on the internet. They do show some landslide which happened here, but of course the landslide happened there, and look what's been built there, Brighton Marina. So it was probably related. And that's where the piers were. And look at that building. That's just a pumping station. Looks amazing. Anyway, that's that bit there. That's 1926. So it's after the bit that I want. But of course that all happens and then we get a marina. So it's probably related. They probably blew it on purpose to get the marina. But not many pictures of it. Not much information about it. Not really. Just little bits like that. But when you go there, there's just a picture, or there wasn't much news that I found. But what's really intrigued me that I never thought about before, never looked, is how we got. So in the 1820s, 30s, 40s, 50s, no electricity, no roads, no nothing. Most of this was built in the 1800s. And yet, just look at it. It's just so amazing. It's still there. Those houses are below street level. with these amazing buildings. I mean, that one, I didn't look it up, but that one on this bit here is looking like it's going to be demolished, but it probably means something. There's probably something in there they don't want us to know about, because they like demolishing all these things. But they built basements. Why would they bother doing all this? That's digging out lots of land. That's, you know, that takes masses of infrastructure, it just takes masses when they've got basements in them, because they had to dig them out of the ground. If we've got no roads and no electricity, and it's even difficult hauling a couple of bags of coal on, how come? Look at it all. It might be not how you thought it was, but look, the buildings and that, I just don't believe the people. I just don't. The people and what they're in just do not go together. Obviously, this is obviously a little bit later, maybe the very late 1800s, but the train, because don't forget, we didn't have roads, that's what they said. But I mean, even the brewery looks amazing. So how do they build all this stuff? How do they get it here? How do they do it? I just want to know. Why is everything such a lie? I mean, look at magnificent Brighton. It was a beautiful place. It might not be quite what you would call, what we call it, well, you know, the modernness of today, but it was in its time. It's just, nobody even knows about the daddy long legs. I mean, it's amazing, that thing. I mean, just look at it. 3 piers, all this stuff. It just does not add up, and it's boggled me. There's more to find. Anyway, it's a sort of bit of a repeating of this other, you know, my other stuff. The windmills. You know, this, why can't they tell us the truth? What the hell happened to us in the 1800s?